All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostle and the elders of Great Millstone, and to all the actors across the globe, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. I want to say Shalom. This is a little continuation of camp. Thinking about this at camp. So many precepts didn't come out, through the spirit. They were still edifying camp, man. Great camp. We're talking about Esau, man, and how he's going to get destroyed. But this is a deep-rooted enmity between Jacob and Esau, that serpent seed and the seed of the woman, and the Lord has created a great divide between Esau and Jacob. Jacob is his chosen, his beloved, and Esau is his hated. In this Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And the blessing that he hated was that we're going to have dominion over them. Some of the elders are going to serve the younger. And Esau hates that he doesn't have the blessing of the Lord, all right, to be ruling in the kingdom to come. He sold his birthright, because his impulsiveness, his desire of his belly, and although the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, this is time to reign, this is not enough for him. When Isaac blessed Jacob, he gave him the fatness, but also dominion, all right, in the world to come, which is the kingdom. And Esau has been hell-bent on destroying Jacob, which are the Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. And just look through history, all right, what Esau has done to the tribes, the so-called Mexicans, all right, the so-called Native Americans, the smallpox, the killing off of the buffalo, the Trail of Tears, Issachar coming in and being conquered by the conquistadors, the Spaniards. And we know about the transatlantic slave trade. All these things were at the hands of these Edomites. And he has had this hatred from Jake from the beginning. Ezekiel 35:1. And it reads, it's a prophecy against Mount Seir. All right, it said Esau dwelt in Seir. All right, Esau is Edom. Okay. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, man. That's what we're doing, man. We're taking it to the gates of the nobles. But then the Edomites know that because what you have done to the apple of the Lord's eye, that you're going to face recompense. All right, repercussions. All right, and that repercussion is going to be destroyed, is for you to be destroyed off the face of the earth after your 1,000 years of hardcore slavery. All right? This is what we're doing. We're prophesying against Mount Seir, man. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I'll stretch out my hand against thee, and I'll make thee most desolate. And the Lord is going to use the angels, Yahweh Shai, and the chariots to actually be in midst to destroy, all right, America. We're going to get hit with missiles and chariot fire and lasers coming from the chariots, what you call UFOs, and it's going to be a memorial, all right, an example to the world of the wickedness that was entailed here, all right. There will be no nothing here but doleful creatures, man. All right, no human is going to live here on the soil of America ever again. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, man. Only the Lord is going to be able to recompense fully, all right, the amount of vengeance, all right, that the world's never seen. It's going to be what is an act of God, It's going to be an act of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? Because thou hast had perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of the calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. The word perpetual, the word olam, which means from the beginning. All right? Rebecca said, what, these two nations are in our womb. They were already fighting, jesting. All right? We said what? Jacob held first the heel of Esau. But Jacob is the beginning, or Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, so this hatred that Esau has for Jacob has been from the beginning, And here, I believe, as the records show in the scriptures, that when Moab came to attack Israel, right, which was the judgment of the Lord, he sent Moab. All right, Esau was there helping, not letting people escape, telling them where they were at, ultimately leading Jake, all right, with more death and more slaughter, man. All right, Esau and these other nations have always conspired together, all right, to kill off their chosen seed, which is who? Which is the Israelites. But therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. So thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Man, we know that Esau is a bloodlust. He has bloodlust, man. He's a thirst for blood. All right, sacrificing children, killing off the wildlife, killing off people, man, bombing and destroying nations that he considered to be feeble. All right, this man's a record of bloodshed has been from the beginning since Cain. Okay, if you look at all the atrocities on the earth that he had been going from place to place, being a vagabond, casting out. He said, "The wicked are like a troubled sea that cannot rest, who cast up mire and dirt." Man, so whoever Esau is, man, he's destroying the indigenous people of those lands, man. Christopher Columbus said he had not set down his sword when he came to conquer, when he came to discover America. All right, killing off the Gadites, man, making this land to be defiled by the blood of the Israelites. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and shall cut off from it that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right, so Esau is going to be cut off. Obadiah 1, we'll get to the point for sake of time. It says, Obadiah 1 and 9, "Thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the Mount Esau may be cut off by slaughter." All right, Teman is a relative of Esau, man. I believe he's a grandson. All right, so Esau, Edom, Teman, all right, Edom, they're all one and the same. But of violence against brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. All right, for that blood that you have shed of the tribes, you're gonna be recompensed for that. All right, so blood cannot be avenged, but by him who shed it. All right, so the only way that the only way that we can be avenged is by the blood of Esau getting spilled, man. All right. Damn, there's another one I wanted to get. I think in verse 18. It said, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it, man. All right? So Esau gonna get destroyed. There'll be none remaining, man. After 1,000 years of slavery, you're gonna get burnt up. You see? And there'll be none remaining, man. All right, no grandkids, no sons, no daughters. All right, thus saith the Lord. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain of the Philistines. They shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of the host of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is Sepharad, shall possess the cities to the south of the south. And Savior shall come upon Zion, upon Mount Zion, to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's, man. All right, and these saviors are the elect, man. All right, you see, we're gonna judge you Edomites. All right, the judgment is coming. America is getting destroyed. Your judgment, your captivity is judgment, and your destruction is judgment from Yahweh Shem Shai, man. All right, the scriptures are plain. There should be none remaining in the house of Esau. All right, in the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom is going to be the Lord's. Oppression shall not rise a second time, man. You're not going to have two rulerships. All right, I'm going to say Shalom and a Baba Bar.